Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, Kaylee, for the introduction, and thank you all folks here for taking time out for this
Oh, thank
interview with
you.
LRM. Um,
Thank you for having us.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for letting me see that the movie Invisible Raptor. It's a great movie full of homages and everything, and I had a really good time watching it.
Oh, awesome, man.
Awesome.
Thank you. We appreciate that
Yeah,
Glad you liked it. We made it for,
for
people
you.
to watch.
yeah. So many homages. I mean, there's E.T. and it just the list goes on. It's yeah, I really enjoyed it. When is Invisible Raptor it's coming to theaters, right?
hmm
Okay.
December 6th is the
December
big day.
6th.
hmm
Okay. That's just a few days away.
It's a few days
Friday.
away. Yeah, we have
Awesome.
limited theaters, and we also have video on demand, digital.
And
Well,
digital also.
yeah.
Yeah, you can pre-order it right now on Apple TV Plus, which we are
Really?
encouraging because it helps.
It
If
helps
people pre-order it now,
independent.
it helps our kind of placement on the
Awesome.
6th.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah.
Okay. Cool. We'll get the
Yeah.
interview out and let folks know and everything. And
Oh
then
yeah.
Pre-order,
after the
pre-order.
release we'll have a review out. Yeah, get the pre-orders going and
Yeah.
everything and support this movie. It's a good time with a wild ending. And I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, the chicken, yeah, it was a chicken costume. All right.
That's
Um
it.
good
Yeah,
times,
well,
good times.
I'm curious to know what your initial reaction was seeing that scene. Was that something you expected? We're
I
like
did
trying
not
to,
expect it. No, I was like when she came out because I thought that the scene with Denny and everything, and I was like, all right, this is this is funny. But then she ran out and they're like, we can see it now, and she's like, it's in. I'm sorry if I spoiled anything, but that I was cracking up so hard, man. So great job there.
ah,
You've
nice.
never seen that in a movie before, that's for sure.
Never seen that ever. It's a good time. Like the weekend at Bernie's early on scene the invisible raptor. You can tell you guys were having a lot of fun with this invisible raptor concept.
Yeah, can you tell
Yes.
no one told us no about anything the whole time we were making it? That's the
Really, you didn't have to cut anything. Was there anything that you wanted to get in there that you didn't get to?
no, not.
No,
Oh,
we got
But
it all
we
in.
kept,
Yeah.
in
you got
fact,
it all in?
we
Nice.
kept adding things even in ADR. We were adding to.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh,
we got
yeah.
really lucky with the group that we worked with, and we got really lucky with everyone,
Right.
on up.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this movie is that it was so collaborative. Everybody would
Right.
like we had like the script supervisor tossing out like, wouldn't it be funny if this happened? We are like, yeah, that would be
For
fun.
real? Okay. You guys were very fortunate then.
Very collaborative. Yeah, very fortunate.
How
Yeah.
did this
There's something
collaboration?
beautiful about indie filmmaking, just being able to, make the movie you want to make and not have anyone say no. So it was
Right.
really freedom we got, and it
Super.
just helped with the art, I think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It
Yeah.
definitely did. Let me ask you, Mike, Hermosa,
Yeah.
not Dr. Grant yet, but we'll get there. Um, well, let me see. So, how did you come up with the concept of the invisible raptor?
Well, that was actually Dr. Grant that came up with that concept.
That was Dr. Grant.
I
Okay.
called him in the middle of the night. Mike is a very talented writer, multi-hyphenate, and I've always wanted to work with him. I'm like, let me pitch you some ideas. And he's like, before you do, I came up with this idea last night, and he pitched me this whole story as if he had it already in his head, and
Really?
totally forgot about all the other ideas that I was going to pitch him. And I was like, let's go with that one. And he could expand more on where the idea came from, but it was from the movie gods, I'm sure, that said you need to
Awesome.
make.
Dude, you all were able to hit so many nails on the head with that movie. So, Mike Capes, how did the idea of the Invisible Raptor come about?
That was one of those 3 a.m. Your wake ups where you're kind of laying there and you're just thinking about different stuff. And then out of nowhere, I just visualized this invisible dinosaur. And I heard it and I'm watching it and I'm like, and I'm seeing scenes and I'm starting to laugh to myself. And I wake up my girlfriend at 3 in the morning. I go, hey, I just saw this movie in my head. It's about an invisible raptor. And, I gave her a little bit more and she laughs and she goes, all right, that's funny. And then she goes back to sleep. And then the next morning, Mike calls me and I'm like, hey, this idea rushed into my head. It's like, every once in a while, these creative ideas just kind of flow and you
Sure.
and yeah, I think there was a lot of like subconscious thoughts because it was during COVID and you kept hearing invisible threat. There's an
Really? So
invisible.
this idea came up during COVID. Okay,
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, we were
Okay,
during lockdown, and yeah, I
invisible
kept hearing,
raptor just doing like
yeah, invisible threat, invisible threat. Maybe that played
sure.
a part in my head, and so yeah, and maybe I was watching Jurassic Park too much during the lockdown too.
Where are you?
Uh,
All right.
but yeah, it played in my head, and it was just really funny. And I called, Mike, and Mike called me, and then I called Johnny. I said, "Hey, Johnny, you want to write something real silly with me? It's about an invisible raptor." And he was like, "Yeah."
That was your reaction, Johnny? You were
Yeah.
down? All right.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, how freaking stupid can we make it?
And
You
I
guys
think
went all
right
out. It's a
after,
good
didn't
time.
somebody auction off some kind of invisible item and we're like, it's in the zeitgeist. We have to make this movie. Or it's out there. Like
Oh
Really?
yeah,
There was an invisible item auction?
there was
Yeah, some artists. It was after we were already kind of going into
yeah, it was like
production.
a sculpture or something, wasn't it?
What?
Somebody made an invisible sculpture, yeah. And this
Man,
was after we had already made our Invisible Raptor action figure.
what? Where can I
We have
get an invisible raptor
I'm
action
glad
figure?
you asked.
the invisibleraptor.com. We have some really
Okay.
fun merch like this hat, and
I
we
was
have.
wondering, I feel so left out over here with without
You
the
would
Yeah.
look
Dino
good in this
World
hat,
hat.
man. You would rock this
I'm gonna
hat.
get that hat and I'm gonna get that raptor.
And so I
Yeah.
showed you on the back of the package how to play with it. I don't know how you
Oh
play with
man.
it. But my favorite joke is collect them all.
Nice. It grows in water too.
It
Well,
does. Oh yeah, it jumps six
Oh
inches,
man, that's the
jumps
ultimate
seven
gag
inches.
there.
does
Pretty
not
Sweet.
wild.
include friend.
I'm gonna check that out. And we're gonna put the
Yeah.
link for folks to be able to go there and shop your merch store because
Oh,
Oh, awesome.
that is great. That is great.
theinvisibleraptor.com.
InvisibleRaptor.com. You heard it, folks. Now let me ask you, Johnny. Now after you got that call and your reaction was, I'm in. How did you and Mike divide the writing responsibilities on such a film like this?
Yeah, so I always think that's a super interesting question too because I'm like so curious on how writing duos write together.
Hmm.
A lot of people will like take scenes like outline together and be like, you do this scene, I'll do this scene, and
Right.
we'll match and then we'll smooth it out. We basically, because it was over COVID, we got together and we have a pretty good shorthand having worked together a bunch before. So like,
Okay.
we've it wasn't like a new partnership where it was like weird.
So you
We've
guys got
hit,
the vibe going and everything
yeah, we
already.
can
Okay.
like we know how to tell each other an idea isn't good.
All right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and we know how to tell each other an idea is good, and best joke wins. So we uh we got together on Zoom and just kind of wrote the whole thing over Zoom.
Really?
So that went as far as us like acting scenes out. Like we always knew that Mike Capes was going to be Dr. Grant Walker, and so we had.
Seriously? Okay.
Oh yeah, like we wrote them. He was the guy,
So you
obviously.
wrote the part for him. You guys got
Yeah,
to
yeah,
write
yeah,
the
yeah.
part that
There
okay,
was
cool.
never there was never any other actor we were writing for
Oh wow. All
paid
right.
for this movie. This
That's
was a
sweet.
Mike Capes vehicle that
Man.
we were writing. And so, we've kind of worked on this Mike Capes character
Okay.
over the course of about 10 to 20 years, where it's this kind of charismatic, snarky, funny leading man that
Right.
we've developed that's kind of akin to like a Chevy Chase or a Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, something like
Definitely.
that, like
Definitely. Definitely.
a cocky but likable, not too arrogant where you don't like him, but under control type guy.
Right.
So we
Got some
wrote
mischief
that.
to him. Yeah.
Yeah, we wrote that character, and we're lucky enough to be able to find like the perfect complement to that energy with the actor David Shackelford,
Right.
who we did not write this for, but luckily we got him,
Okay.
the actor. But we lucked out. I mean, this movie would not have been this movie without David Shackelford.
Nice.
But yeah, we wrote it over Zoom. To answer long story short, we wrote it over Zoom.
That's a great answer.
Kind of went back
Man.
and forth.
And it started
And
with invisible threats, and then we get invisible raptors. And I love raptors. I mean, so when I saw invisible raptor in my email, I was like, I gotta check this out. And it's full of jokes. I don't want to spoil it, but it's a great movie. Congratulations to you all for making such a homage filled fun thriller ride at the same time.
Yeah. You
Thank
can
you.
spoil things. I think it'll get people in the theater.
Will it? Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Spoil whatever you
mean,
want. I mean, you can throw stuff out there. I think we got some pretty good advice once that was when we were trying to figure out the trailer.
Uh-huh.
And the advice was basically like put the kitchen sink into the
Put
trailer. But
everything.
if they're gonna, if people like what they heard, for
Right.
instance, in the review, or they like what they saw in the trailer, they're gonna come check out the movie.
And
So
Man.
whose advice was that, Johnny?
that was Jerry Zucker's advice, the guy who wrote and directed Airplane and Naked Gun.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
folks are going to definitely enjoy the scene with the raptor baiting. And man, that sounds kind of funny, raptor baiting. And but that's a cool scene. The guy's like
Interspecies mating.
interspecies mating is in there. And there's some token going on. And the guy's like, I love that scene. He's like, this is good. And then the raptor comes by. He's like, this is really good. And yeah, it's a great time. So I know folks are definitely going to enjoy it. He's like, I'm watering plants. And
Well, there's a funny
Larry
story about that line from
Yeah.
Larry Hankin, the actor. So
Okay.
that line, the line that he does on the porch, where he's like, "I could be watering the plants." He is famous. He famously played a character on Friends who
Okay.
did a bit
Mr.
where they
Heckles.
would be like, "What was his name, Mike?"
Mr. Heckles.
Mr.
Mr.
Heckles. They would be
Heckles,
like,
okay.
"What are you doing? What are you doing, Mr. Heckles?" And he'd say a thing, and they're like, "You're not doing this." And he's like, "I could be doing that."
All
Like
right.
the thing he did on Friends, that was his like running gag.
Right.
So we homaged that.
Nice.
Obviously,
There's
in
so many
our-
in here. Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the that's actually one of my favorite Easter eggs is that because
Awesome.
you wouldn't think that, you know,
I would have
it's
put
you
that
wouldn't think we'd
'cause-
do a Friends reference.
right. Yeah. I think my mom would
Like-
because she loves
Like
Friends.
Great check sheet.
Yeah.
over here, Mike. I know we were talking about doing that, right?
What's
Well,
that?
It's fun. A lot
What's
of
that,
Easter
Mike?
eggs in this film.
Yeah,
Definitely.
what's another Easter egg that reference? What was your favorite Easter egg reference? I got yours, Johnny, but for Mike and for Mike Capes and Mike Hermosa, what is your favorite Easter egg in the movie?
Mine's definitely we had you know, Dante Bosco, who played Rufio, one of the most iconic Spielberg characters ever. Not only was he in Hook, but he's also an invisible raptor. We have him in the jail scene where he says his line, I'm never growing old. So it's a nice little Easter egg to throw back. I mean, to have Rufio in this film
Rufio, man, Rufio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when I was a kid
Yeah,
growing up, that's
Rufio.
everyone wanted
that's
to be.
awesome.
So to have him in the film was, to me, my favorite for sure.
That's great, dude. That's magical to have Rufio in your movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Blink
there's
and
so
you
many.
miss him, but he's in there.
So our film takes place in Spielberg County. That's the
I saw that. Yeah, Spielberg County.
It's spelled like Pittsburgh, so we're safe.
All right.
But,
Yeah.
and so yeah, in our film, like Mike was saying, we were lucky to have Rufio exist. Rufio, actual Rufio,
Right.
exist in the town as well. So a
What?
lot of Spielberg characters in Spielberg County.
It's cool, man. I love the references and everything. And you can tell you guys love movies and love great movies. And I really hope that everybody goes to check this out and gives Invisible Raptor a watch because I definitely plan on watching it again and spreading the word. And it looks like we are almost out of time, but were there got another question. So, and this is for you, Mike. What are some of your favorite, or what was your favorite directorial choice in the film? I know you had there's got to like, was there fun? I mean, you're directing folks against an invisible antagonist. How is that?
Yeah, it's like what made Jaws scary is you never really saw the shark, so taking that concept, and that was all based off of malfunction of the shark. So just taking that concept of, letting your mind create what you can't see, I think is a very beautiful thing. And we really leaned into that and had fun. And to me, that was definitely the favorite part, was how do we make this raptor come to life without seeing it and getting as creative as possible.
Yeah, I can see that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome answer. And you definitely did a great job with the invisible raptor. I mean, it's like it's comical. It's funny every time it's like in the air, it's in the scene or something. And when they're looking for the dog and trying to figure out what happened there, and you watch the playback of the security footage, and he's like, "Do you hear that?" And it's like, who would know that that's what a raptor sounds like, but
Well,
a paleontologist.
Everyone had their chance to direct in this film. I think even our DIT directed a scene. So it was
Really?
really fun. Like it felt like we were just doing a longer version of a skit. So it was cool to let everyone take ownership of this film and make it our film. So it was great.
Awesome. It definitely
Yeah.
feels like a love letter to a great heyday of filmmaking. And I gotta watch it again. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably
Apple
watch it
TV
again tonight.
Plus.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus, Apple TV Plus. All right. And where can we get the awesome hats in the dino again?
InvisibleRaptor.com.
InvisibleRaptor.com. All right. I'm gonna add that to my merch, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other folks are.
Awesome.
So, guys, thanks again for taking time out for the interview with LRM today. And we wish you the best, and definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys are up to next.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thanks, guys.
Hopefully-
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you.